It's the middle of the morning commute at Paddington, and it started snowing. In the station control room, controllers Richard and Graham are taking it in their stride.
Snow, it strikes fear in the heart of Londoners. They just think that everything is just going to go wrong if there's a little bit of snow. A lot of people see snow outside and think, I'm not going to work. There's snow outside.
But Paddington is so far open for business. And despite the drastic change in weather, the train service is currently holding up. Staff can enjoy the heaviest snowfall central London has seen in years.
We managed to keep all our trains on time. Everything's running to schedule this morning, which is good. A lot of the other operators have started cancelling stuff. It's cold. Ow!
It hasn't been so bad, though they've had some delays, but it's okay.
So far, we've been pretty lucky. So there's been almost like a horseshoe effect. It's sort of gone around us and missed us. Now, whether that's got anything to do with the London atmosphere, I couldn't honestly say. I wouldn't want to make a judgment on that. Touch wood, we're pretty good.
The responsibility for keeping Paddington's lines open and its trains running falls to route control.
It's dry snow with 40-mile-an-hour winds, so we might have a tiny bit of drifting. It'd be right for 1 foot drifts.
Trains are on time today, but it's tomorrow's forecast that worries controller Neil Latham.
The problem with this particular warning, it's not for today, but look out the window. It's all happening now, the snow.
A weather pattern nicknamed the Beast from the East is about to meet Storm Emma from the south.
Is the snow likely to melt, or is it like to lay on the ground and a bit more get put on top of it on Thursday?
I think the issue here is a lot of snow coming in a short space of time. That's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, I'm afraid. I think Thursday will be the windiest day of all, particularly around East Devon. We are going to be encountering sort of increasing spray conditions during this late afternoon high tide. Yeah, it's looking very challenging.
One of the most vulnerable points on the western route is at Dawlish in Devon, where rails run along the coast. It's a section of track managed from the 1980s vintage signalling centre at Exeter.
Guys, we're looking at an amber snow warning tomorrow, and that equates to 10 to 20 centimetres of snow falling. The key areas, it's starting about 8 o'clock in the morning and then going through to 1400 hours as the key time. The other thing to watch out for is the sea spray problem. We have a lot of sea spray coming over around about high tide. Because it's so cold, we're talking about -5 degrees, freezing temperatures. So there could be a chance of slippery rails. So beware of reports from drivers, especially ones that stop at Dawlish Station. Obviously with forecasts, they're only a forecast. It might not happen, but indeed it could be a lot worse than they forecast.
Yeah.
At route control, Neil still has one eye on what's happening outside.
How much did you get there then? It's quite heavy outside here, so I don't know how long it's going to crash. We've not even really kicked off yet, so it's not even on to the main event tomorrow.
It's early morning at the track maintenance depot just outside Paddington, and the team have received a call about a serious situation unfolding at the station.
Halt control have been on the phone, and basically our guys are going to have to go and down to the Paddington platforms and clear the snow because it's just got too bad. Somehow snow has got in the station, and first job of the day, go and clear the station basically.
At Paddington, the morning commute is even harder than usual, despite overnight gritting.
Please take care around the station. As the snow has made parts of the station rather slippery.
Take your time. Easy, easy, nice and easy. Thank you. It's cold, it's freezing, it's snowing on the inside of the station. I've never known that to happen before. It's made the ground a lot more treacherous and a lot more dangerous. Don't worry about the tickets, just straight out, please. Straight out. It's the customers I'm worried about because they don't know how dangerous it is when they come off the trains. There you go, nice and easy. There you go.
But there's snow coming onto the concourse and the platforms. It's being blown in. The entire concourse is like an ice rink. Tried pushing the snow out with brushes. We've tried putting grit down, but it's not made a one iota of a difference. So at the moment, we're going to have to come up with some sort of solution. What that is at the moment, I've no idea.
On the concourse, Joe Porter is assessing the problem.
What's happened is, because of the design of the roof, the transept, there's still quite a large number of gaps up there. And obviously, with the wind, it's blowing the snow that's on the roof in. It's just in the design. I would imagine it is probably ventilation. When it was built, the steam engines, the steam and smoke had dispersed through the roof.
With conditions getting more treacherous by the minute, Station Control receives some rare and very unwelcome news.
We've got a situation where it sounds like we're going to have to close the station. Obviously, that's not going to be easy to organise because we've got trains coming up to London at the moment.
Paddington is one of London's busiest stations, used by nearly 100,000 people a day. Since the war, it's only been closed a handful of times.
I mean, Paddington Station closing for 10 minutes is a catastrophe. The infrastructure outside is working fine, but I've never heard of it before. It's the first time ever. So we've closed Paddington Station, which is obviously not ideal.
The decision to close is a first for everybody.
It's never happened. I've been working here for 5 years and that hasn't happened, so...
And I've just boarded the 7:52. They'll be the last trains to leave the station for the time being.
The 8 o'clock will be the last one leaving, I think, and you put a message out saying over the 10 the state there are no more trains leaving.
Yeah, okay.
Special announcement for all passengers here at Paddington Station. The station is closed for railway services today, and this is due to
poor weather conditions and icy platforms.
But then an update which causes a last-minute rush.
The 8:21 to Hereford will be running. The 8:21 to Hereford will be running. This will be the last service from Paddington until further notice.
This is the last train out for a while. We're just waiting for the driver who's just coming out, and we don't know what the rest of the day is going to be like. But right now, this is the last train for the time being. We'll have a few coming in with the passengers. They've got to be careful as well. Right.
At route control, staff gather for a crisis meeting to see if and when they can reopen the station.
Until we can confirm with the station manager that there's a walking way, we can all say we don't want it closed. That's fine. But I'm not going to make the call to say we'll run something in there and put 700 people onto the concourse, which is an ice skating rink. If anybody else wants to, then that's fine.
You can put people on the moon, but you can't organise some sort of platform.
Yeah, it was literally everyone was called to the office. Next thing we know is the station's now shut.
And also, if you put marble on the platform, why don't people have marbles in bathrooms? Because they fall over them. It's mind-blowing.
That's the thing.
Once again, the station is closed for railway services today, and this is due to poor weather conditions and icy platforms.
One major issue with Paddington Station is that you do have entrances and exits that you just can't really close. So we don't have doors which you can just close off at Paddington. The main entrance on the arrivals road from Praed Street is one big open entrance.
And now the passengers are taking a stand.
All of these passengers are refusing to leave the station because of obviously demanding a way to get to work or a way to get to wherever they're going this morning.
At route control, a major incident has been declared. A senior manager has joined a conference call with Neil's team, known as Gold Command, to find a way to safely reopen the station.
Right, Gareth, you're in gold.
Well, Gareth, it's Neil. I'll give you an update to save you. This will probably answer several of your questions. The station concourse itself is unsafe. So Paddington, if someone wants to make the call without being there and not being a station manager, that'd be one-on-one trains in Paddington, then be my guest.
Shift station manager on the ground at Paddington, Dave Pocock, is patched in to Gold Command.
Platforms 1 to 7 are totally unusable. Snow's coming through the roof. I've slipped twice just walking down platform 1. The concourse is just as bad, if not worse.
Mike, what's your fault?
Well, I think we need to keep it open, Gareth, and I think it's a risk, but I think it's probably a risk that we're going to have to take, which is it's a pretty uncomfortable. Hang on, guys, can we just have one conversation, please? But I think we need to use the platforms that are usable and ask the guys to marshal as best they can people to and from those platforms. Closing Paddington is just, you know, I mean, it's a terminal option.
So Dave, look, apologies for doing this to you. It's very uncomfortable, but for your sake, we will take the decision out of your hands. And please, can you reopen the station?
So which platforms are you asking me to open?
Which are the least bad, Dave?
Possibly 8 or 9, but I'll have to go and check 12, 13 and 14. So before I reopen it, I'll go and check the platforms, see how many platforms I can reopen.
Thank you.
Is that okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
At Paddington, Joe Porter has to act fast.
At the end of the day, we've got to keep the station open, you know, get our customers where they need to get to from A to B. We've got teams from P-Way, projects and station staff and our cleaners and train operating companies, clearing all them platforms, making them as safe as possible.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle, Dave. Bit of a pickle.
At the moment, we're not doing very well.
That was shocking. It's been awful, really.
I think our peak service sunk quicker than the snow fell.
We were kind of caught a little bit by surprise that the station closed. We weren't expecting that.
We're just trying to create as safe as possible walking route from the platforms to the underground and the station exit. But at the moment, we're just running out of mats because obviously they're everywhere in the station at the moment. And we'd just like to create one across here, just so we can get to the London Underground as safe as possible.
The race is now on to start dispatching the first trains in over an hour.
They've done a good job clearing the platforms out this way.
I've just been told by the duty manager that we might be able to open 11 and 12, but that's not confirmed just yet. We're hoping eventually to open 8 to 14.
But it's not just the platforms that are a problem.
Got a brush? Yeah.
Out on the tracks, an emergency response team are ready to check every set of points by hand on the approach to Paddington.
Blooming cold today, but I've been on the railway 15 years and I've not known the snow as bad as it is.
Freezing.
Basically, if the point heaters are not working or are faulty, the snow just gathers up underneath the chog bolts and it stops the points from getting detection when it swings right across. So as you can see, ice is settled on there. So we use some of this de-icer and pour that on there. We don't need a lot of it, just put that. God willing, we'll be all right. See, the heaters are working on this one. If you actually touch the rail, you'd feel it's warmer, and there's one on the other side as well. Basically, we're up against it.
Back at Paddington, things are beginning to move at last. But with most platforms closed, it's a very limited service.
This is the first one since the 8:21 departure, so about an hour and a half or so. So hopefully we've got this moving now. This is going to get rid of quite a few people.
Can you move in so we can shut the doors, please?
We're getting there. We're getting there now. At least we've got something moving at last.
Guys, get to 27. There's no more space. We're trying our hardest to get as many people on the train as possible. The train is completely full. This train is gone, sir. The next one's going to be behind.
Rich, platforms at Pad, 8 to 14, not 10 are open. The effort now has to be to try and get back to semblance of the timetable, and from experience, it's probably going to be 2 or 3 hours, maybe 4. We get a bit of a mad snow bomb happening. Like I said, all might fall apart quite quickly, but you know, fingers crossed.
With trains running again, the de-icing team are in a vulnerable position, but they do have their very own advanced warning system.
That's our Mr. Senior, the lookout man. Best in the business, so he says.
Their lives in my hands. If I felt to see one day, they're done.
You keep us safe, Mark, didn't you?
It's froze. It's froze, John.
It's got no puff in it. Try and use it a bit more now.
Services have slowly started to move at Paddington, but they're few and far between.
As it is right now, our departure screens are pretty much blank. All we're currently showing is one local service stopping at stations towards Didcot, and then one Heathrow Express train. So it's all a bit rubbish.
And even the staff are finding it hard to keep up with train cancellations and last-minute changes.
Platform 12 is Heathrow Express.
No. Yes. You sent not Reading,
Heathrow
not
Express,
Reading.
mate.
You sent me there for Reading, it's not.
You're asking the Express.
I think the Reading one was on platform 11. We've missed it now.
Is it gone?
You said it was platform 12. We all could remember.
Yeah, you should have sent us to 11.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to recover the service at all today. We're going to have a go doing it for this afternoon.
Anyone for local stations to Hayes, head to that train on 14. That's your next one out.
At route control, there's news of more bad weather spreading along the length of Paddington's western route.
OK, so this is pretty much as bad as it gets in terms of winter weather. Not seen anything like this for a number of years. Actually, down in your part of the world, this is quite crazy.
What are we thinking? This has got to be out of bounds completely because it's awful.
All we've got to do is barrier this off here.
And block 1, please, again.
And then we're OK.
Okay.
At Bristol Temple Meads, an important hub on the network, duty station manager Claire Godden is struggling with the worsening weather.
I think the beast from the east is here.
The platform's like an ice rink, and unless we block it off, people are going to start really injuring themselves. So, preventative measures. Woo! Nearly wet myself then.
We've already closed 2 platforms off because this wind tunnel of a station is blowing all of the snow in, and due to the floor, it's too slippery for passengers. So
it's just getting the news out there to people. You know, we are still running, but hopefully in a safe manner.
You've got a warning level of 4. So some overtopping of the waves in the Dawlish area, but it's worse. The splash may be producing ice on the rail.
On the South Devon coast, winds of up to 60 miles an hour are whipping up icy waves that are battering Dawlish. And local operations manager Darryl Milford is worried about its effect on the rails.
The whole way a train moves is it grips the rail and moves forward because the weight of the train helps the adhesion. And when we've got the sea coming over and it's landing on the rail head, that is freezing, then you've got the sort of almost a frozen surface on the railhead. Trains then struggle to pull away and they struggle to stop. Obviously the drivers are all professional train drivers, but obviously this will cause a bit of extra time, the drivers driving more cautiously.
Back in Bristol, to keep the network running, Claire has taken her crew to clear platforms at local stations.
Should we all do that platform first? Grit and shovel. Worst case scenario is that the snow comes down for the next few hours like it's coming down now, and we end up having to close stations and stop all our trains from running. And with the rate it's coming down now, that may not be a distant scenario, sadly. At least one train's still running.
The morning train service from Paddington has been decimated, and in just 2 hours, the station's busiest period, the evening peak, is due to begin.
Some trains planning ahead are being cancelled as far as 8 o'clock this evening. And yeah, Heathrow Express are running 1 train an hour instead of 4. Heathrow Connects are completely cancelled. The Greenford line is completely off. Further down the line, places like Loo to Liscard, the Newquay area, that's completely gone under severe weather warnings. we're running roughly 5 trains an hour. So it's not very good.
This way, madam. Hello.
It's evening rush hour.
Control room, Paddington. All right, leave it with me. All right, cheers, thank you, bye-bye.
A day of heavy snow has left a trail of disruption that is hitting the peak service.
We're kind of all over the place now with services and things. Go ahead.
Bravo 8 to base.
Oh, what now?
Oh, sorry, Bravo 9 to base. Customer asking about the 1848, please. Say just appeal of the board. Over.
If you look at the boards, you'll see it's on the boards. It's on the boards, Ben. It is running late. It is running late, as everything is.
With drivers and trains not where they need to be, the timetable is changing by the minute.
Control room, Paddington. 1848, yes, we've been told it's now cancelled. Oh, I'm here to keep people happy. Cheers, bye-bye. Once again, we do apologise for the disruption to your service this evening. This is owing to the severe weather conditions.
And now one of the 1970s vintage HST high-speed trains is struggling to cope.
Oh, so it doesn't rain but pour. The train now on platform 1 has now failed. Unfortunately, because of various infrastructure failures, because of weather-related problems, they've had to make a difficult decision to suspend HSTs to leave Paddington. So we can only send them out as and when they confirm they have crew and they're able to complete the whole journey. It's different.
At Bristol Temple Meads, there's bad news for rush hour passengers wanting to get home.
We get to Birmingham, the train's very soon, but I'm not sure.
The Leeds train, I think. Let's have a look at the screens.
There's a new weather alert.
It's code black now, so we're advising customers not to travel. We've got ticket restrictions lifted and will allow people to travel over the next couple of days if the weather gets better.
All Foxtrot services to Cardiff are cancelled.
Yeah, all services to Cardiff are cancelled now.
We're starting to get that time of evening where we don't want to be having more people on the network because we'll start struggling to get them home and have them stranded, which is the last thing we want.
Anyone going down to Exeter or further south, you can go to Taunton and change, but chances are you might get stuck there as well. No, we've got no trains going down towards Weymouth at all now for the rest of the night. So only if it's absolutely vital should you travel tonight. There are no trains to Bristol Parkway, no trains to Avonmouth or Severn Beach, no trains to South Wales, no trains to Devon and Cornwall, as of an hour ago, and no trains in the direction of Westbury or Weymouth or Warminster. At a time like this, with today's weather, it is almost like give up. The buses gave up, other trains have given up. You know, it's late, it's Thursday night or Friday night, who knows, I can't remember anymore. People just want to go to bed, I want to go to bed. It's all gone wrong.
At route control, they're dealing with a third day of snowstorms that have so far caused the cancellation of more than 200 trains.
We resorted to like an emergency timetable, which is one train an hour to Bristol from Paddington, one train to the West Country, Swansea, London and back every hour, Exeter to London and back every hour. The problem we've got is that we can devise a timetable, but we don't have the staff to crew it. So we had lots of drivers not being able to get in because of the conditions.
At Paddington, Great Western Station manager Dean Haynes is dealing with the fallout.
What we've got at the moment is the concourse starting to get busy now because we've not got the full train service running, but we've got complimentary tea and coffee going, so that always helps.
2 coffees, of course you can. Just making teas and coffees to keep people warm.
That's what I'll be getting in a minute too.
There's biscuits on the end as well if you wanted. Yeah, we've got biscuits and everything.
We're used to dealing with disruption, but obviously when you're a customer and you're coming onto the station, you just want to get on your train, having good information and away you go. And that's the bit that we're trying to do now. I just need the train to come along to take the customers.
But with the weather also immobilising some trains, that may not be so easy.
Oh.
Mobile Operations Manager Jane Colgan has had a report of a broken down train near Slough.
Okay, let's see where this driver is. Probably at the far end. Are they smiling and pleased to see us? Hello? How are you getting on? I'm one of the mobile operations managers. So what are you trying next? Because I think my control want to know whether we're going to start evacuating or whatever.
mechanically we found the brakes off.
Yeah.
Still got problems, so it may be a little.
Oh, okay.
We're going to have a look into that.
All right.
The driver is investigating a problem with the train's brakes, which are locking automatically.
He thinks it might be an electrical problem, so they're just trying a few more things, though I don't know what they are because I'm having to yell at him across the down airport. So, I mean, we'll just wait here in the cess, and we'll give you another update as and when we can, and if, you know, if there's going to be an evacuation or rescue train or something, then obviously I'm in position.
At Paddington, they're up against more than just a disrupted timetable.
It's very cold. It's got to be about -1 or -2 in the station at the moment. We're advising customers if they can put their travel off to travel on another day, and their tickets will be valid. If they're still at the station, obviously we'll try and get them to their destination.
I know, I bet you do. Me too. I've had a really long walk down here.
Out on the tracks near Slough, though, it's good news.
Is it all sorted now? You're able to move off? Yeah. Perfect. Oh. Thanks.
I'll let control know they're making positive noises.
Hello.
Thinks he's fixed it and is on the phone to TVSC Hayes. So yeah, once he's gone, then we'll go as well.
See you later. They're all happy. Hey! Bye!
With trains moving again, Richard in the Paddington control room has his own challenges.
It's extremely busy. We have tried to manage the boarding as best we can, because looking at the concourse, it's absolutely chock-a-block. Also, we're trying to make sure that people don't run. We've got a lot of pushing going on down there. Looking at from the CCTV, I can see people actually trying to force each other through the doors. I'm just a bit concerned at what I'm hearing, because potentially the steps could be slippery and people are going to have accidents if they're not careful. Yeah, it's looking really dangerous down there at the moment.
Richard does what he can to relieve the pressure.
This is a passenger announcement for all passengers. Ticket restrictions have been lifted on all services from Paddington this afternoon. This is owing to the ongoing disruption caused by the weather. Please be advised that the seat reservations will not be in place on high-speed services. Also, this is to allow for prompt starts on trains.
Can't get on back to the concourse. You can't get on back to the concourse, no.
I feel really sorry for these people because they've had such an awful start of their journeys, and presumably they're going into worsening weather down sort of southwest, South Wales, etc. So, yeah, I really feel for these people.
At Bristol, services are still very badly disrupted.
Passengers for Bob Spa, Chippenham, Swindon, Tickpots, Reading, London. Outside, to the left and over to platform 13, please.
The biggest issue facing us right now is the closure of the Dawlish Seawall. It's not quite as bad as when it closed a few years ago. With the last time we had a major storm there, but it's closed at the moment because of the amount of debris that's been deposited on the track by the waves. On first looking at the photographs we've been sent, there's boulders on the track, there's a bank slip. Part of the sea boundary wall has been washed away as opposed to the wall which holds the track up.
At Dawlish, Infrastructure Maintenance Delivery Manager Stephen Hawkins is seeing how the clean-up is going.
Earlier on, when we came down this morning after the high tide, all of the fence had been blown over onto the track with the coping stones. Amazing to think that the wave force could have done it, but it has. Looks totally different now. The guys have done a great job clearing it all up. Looks great. So we'll be running trains, I think, in a few hours' time.
48 hours of disruption have taken their toll, and the decision is made to end tonight's train service early.
We're trying to deliver a service to the people that want to try and go somewhere, but you know, it does feel like we're giving up. You know, we're not, because we looked at all the options and it just, you know, the numbers don't add up. It's not worth doing it because it's too dangerous. If the train gets trapped, we can't get to them.
It's been 3 days of extreme weather, which caused major disruption and an extraordinary event.
I've worked on the railway now for 32 years. I can't recall Paddington closing like that quickly because of that type of weather condition. Certainly in this generation of railway employees, if that's ever happened.